Oh, that chocolate is so good. Yum, 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 yum. Mhm. There we go. Oh, wrong one. All right. Right now we have this. Did I wear this outfit yesterday? I feel like I have. I mean, not yesterday, but eh. You know what? I'm gonna say it. This one makes me look badder. So it's the bagginess. I'll go with this one. My original outfit. Yep. The only person on the planet that would dress like this is me. All right. So we're gonna pick up where we left off, guys. In part 6. Oh, yes, I know I made way too many parts for this thought experiment. Longest running. Oh, the chair more dang. All right, give me a sec. Just gonna turn this on. All right. So Hephaestus, where we're gonna pick up where we left off. Hephaestus decided to pay us a visit at the very final scene of this in this story, guys. Give me a sec. All right, the disguised god leans. The disguised god slowly leans his immense scar frame onto his bronze staff. His deep, firelit eyes. How far away am I? Flicker from your unyielding soft. Sorry, I literally just ate, so I might have the hiccups. Well, I sure hope not. Soft face down to the smart alloy flanged head on your black and gray gloves. He lets out a deep, rumbling growl that sounds like shifting tectonic plates. Trusted people. Hephaestus mutters, his massive jaw clenching as his soot-stained beard twitches. He looks at the 7-foot water giant Ira, who is actively guarding a weapon over her dark silver chain bikini top. You trust the daughter of the rushing streams with the secrets of the future forge, yet you bar a master craftsman of Lemnos? He tries to suppress his divine aura, but his pure professional frustration causes the gravel beneath his boots to faintly hiss with the rising thermal energy. Yes, traveler, I am a smith, the only smith who matters in these valleys. I do not merely bend bronze. I design containment. I have bound the volcanic heat of the earth into absolute structure. I can see that your cold gray clubs possess no grains, no wields, and no microfractures. It is a perfect continuous lattice. I call myself a simple smith. In front of your work is an underestimation. Is an underestimation. All right, skip, skip, skip. The view from Olympus. Up on Mount Olympus, the divine pool of sight is glowing with intense chaotic energy. The High Council is watching the encounter with absolute panic and mounting amusement. Zeus. He broke my sovereign decree. Hephaestus has hobbled down to the mortal mud out of sheer unbridled professional jealousy. Look at him. He is begging like a half-asleep mortal traveler in a beast hide just to touch a great club for 3 minutes. The dignity of my family is completely ruined. Athena. The analytical smirk. The scholar's response was flawless, Father. By enforcing security access protocols, only trusted people are allowed to use my weapons. He completely neutralized Hephaestus' attempt to acquire the future tech. He treats his inventory with the same absolute precision as his data travels. Oh yeah. Oh, my flickering lantern thing just died over there. I just now realized that. Eh. Alright. Skip. Alright. The moment you finish your analytical statement about trust and security protocols, the three nymph sisters completely freeze. The realization of exactly who is standing at the edge of your camp hits them like a physical blow. Ira. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna reread the rest of this just because there's not very much of this left, guys. The 7-foot eldest sister's eyes widen to the size of silver drachmas. Her riverstone voice drops to a terrified, breathless whisper as she looks from the limping giant to the tungsten mace in her hand. The Lord of the Fire Vaults, she gasps, her massive frame tensing over her dark silver chain bikini top. She instinctively lowers the mace slightly, realizing she is holding a weapon in the presence of an Olympian god who literally invented the art of forging. Narina's terror. Narina turns completely pale, her hands trembling so hard that she drops a harvest rock blade onto the dirt. She falls to her knees on the gravel over her long navy skirt, bowing her head in deep, ancient reverence. Great architect of Olympus, she whispers in pure fear, forgive our intrusion. We are merely gathering the bones of the deep dwellers. Cynthia's high realization. Even Cynthia's dreamy 5 milligram THC gummy buzz is completely shattered by the sheer gravity of the moment. Her playful giggles vanish. She clutches your blue boxers tightly to her. I forgot she's still carrying those boxers. You know what? And the next time I do something like that, nah. She ain't gonna be carrying no one. Her light blue eyes wide with awe as she stares at the soot-stained beard of the god. The master of the anvil, he has come down from the clouds just to look at your gray brick, RJ. She whispers in absolute bewilderment. Jordan's pivot. Jordan tracks the nymph's immediate terror and looks at the melting stones under the smith's boots. His mature face turning completely stone cold as his mind instantly calculates the threat level. He stands directly into a guarding stance of your left flank, his hand gripping his tungsten axe tightly. RJ, Jordan rumbles in his deep. Actually, he would actually say, hey. He doesn't really, like I said, guys, he rarely ever says my name, unless there's like another person in the group talking to us. Hey, Jordan rumbles in his deep voice, his tone incredibly intense. The neighborhood watch just identified the client. That's not a dork from the mountains. That's a literal god of fire. Your security protocols are currently blocking an Olympian deity. Hephaestus lets out a heavy volcanic sigh that blows a small cloud of black soot into the air-conditioned breeze of the tent. Seeing his disguise completely blown by the local nature spirits, he stops leaning heavily on his bronze staff and straightens his massive scarred shoulders. He looks down at your soft face, his firelit eyes burning with an intense, desperate mixture of pride and technical obsession. The water maids speak the truth, scholar, the god rumbles, abandoning his fake merchant accent entirely. I am Hephaestus. I have forged the chains that bound Prometheus, and the lightning that shakes the heavens. Yet here I stand, exposed by a mortal traveler who treats my divine domain like a grade school science fair. I ask you one final time, Wizard of the Numbers, will you honor the Master of the Forge, or does your trust protocol bar the King of Fire himself? You stand completely unbothered by the sudden reveal of the Olympian god of fire. Your face calm and steady beneath your Upper Michigan leather hat. Your analytical mind and high emotional response prioritize your schedule and data tracking over ancient religious awe. We can talk shop, but allow the nymphs to continue doing what they're doing, you say smoothly in your gentle voice, maintaining your firm boundaries. You turn your body slightly over to Jordan, here. You pass your prized tungsten rhenium smart mace over the Jordan as he seamlessly keeps the plate harvesting. I'm gonna get the AC to face me. I'm getting warm. All right. To keep the plate, all right. You passed Jordan the mace so he can seamlessly keep the plate harvesting operation running without missing a beat. The plate harvesting operation without missing a beat. Oh. Jordan takes the advanced weapon with a nod, his mature face relaxing just a fraction as he steps back at the Jiachi carcass. You guys seen what those things look like? The Jiachi? They are scary looking. And Jordan and I and three nymphs killed three of them. You look straight back at the soot-stained, fire-lit face of Hespesius, leaning back into a relaxed stance. If you're interested in learning how we made the weapons, ask away, you say in your voice perfectly calculated. But first, the Earth Burrowers, how valuable are their plates? Knowledge for knowledge. The gods' bewilderment and appraisal. Oh, my nose is itchy. When I'm being vibrated like that, it literally like rattles my nose and it itches. Hespesius stares down at you, his massive chest rising and falling beneath his heavy leather apron. The Lord of the Forge has been offered prayers, blood sacrifices, and gold by the kings of grace. But he has never had a mortal in a track jacket casually enforce an information barter protocol on him. A deep, rumbling chuckle blocks the sulfur in his throat, and his expression softens into one of profound professional respect. A trade of the mind, Hespesius rumbles, his volcanic voice echoing off the gravel perimeter. You carry the cold heart of a true master craftsman, scholar RJ. Very well. Let the water maids pull the hides, and I shall answer your ledger. He takes a heavy limping step toward the massive stack of shimmering, crystalline rock plates that Narina and Cynthia are stacking. The plates of the Jirachi are a treasure that the Southern kings would wage blood wars to possess, the god explains, his scarred fingers tracing the flawless geometric ridges of the harvested armor. They are born from the raw pressure of the underworld's belly. They do not merely deflect force, they absorb the thermal energy of the deep magma. A single shield faced with these scales can withstand the white-hot breath of a dragon or the molten rivers of my own forge without heating the arm that carries it. In the markets of Athens or Mycenae, this stack alone would buy you a fleet of war galleys and a palace of solid marble. To me, it is the finest natural insulation the earth can provide. He pivots his massive body back towards you, his firelit eyes burning with absolute desperate curiosity as he points his staff at the smart mace Jordan is currently holding. I have answered your ledger, wizard of the numbers, Hespesius says, leaning. Now, pay the debt. Tell me how your world binds the heavy great star metal so flawlessly that it possesses no crystal boundaries, no wilds, and no microfractures to shatter under the weight of the deep dwellers. Hearing the god of fire agree to your peaceful terms, Narina lets out a soft breath of pure relief over her navy skirt, while Cynthia lets out a dreamy, quiet giggle as she picks up another plate. Ira stands vigilantly by the stream, thoroughly amazed that your soft voice has successfully managed an Olympian deity. Jordan casually shatters off another rock plate of the Jordan casually shatters another rock plate off the carcass with the smart mace, the effortless crunch of the tool making Hespesius' ear twitch with intense jealousy. Up on Mount Olympus, Athena is proudly logging your transaction in her tactical scroll, thoroughly impressed with how your autism-driven logic just turned a terrifying divine confrontation into a highly lucrative trade of academic data. You shrug your shoulders slightly in your unarmored gray light jacket, completely unimpressed by the historical economics of ancient Greece. Wars have been fought over these worms. Meh. You say smoothly in your voice. Alright, so this is how you make these weapons. You lean against the camp table, your autism and love for precise data tracking hitting a peak of absolute hyperfocus clarity. You look straight into the eyes of Hephaestus and break down the complex multi-step engineering of material science. That was a hiccup. You explain that you don't melt tungsten in a standard furnace because its melting point is an astronomical 3,422 degrees Celsius, or 6,192 degrees Fahrenheit, far beyond the heat of his volcanic fires. You explain that the process requires crushing raw tungsten and rhenium into ultrafine micron-sized powders. Micron-sized powders. The isostatic pressing. These powders are placed into a flexible mold and subjected to massive fluid pressure up to 400 megaparsecs, compressing the dust into a green solid shape through the sheer geometry without the heat. The sintering phase. You detail the logistical nightmare of sintering. The compressed shape must be baked inside a specialized high-vacuum hydrogen furnace just below its melting point for days. This process forces the atomic boundaries of the tungsten and rhenium to diffuse and fuse together on a molecular scale, completely eliminating any casting flaws, air pockets, or weld lines. Your smart alloy slip lattice. You explain that by adding exactly 5 to 26% rhenium creates a smart dynamic structure. When the flange head impacts a stone worm, the rhenium atoms allow the crystalline lattice to slide smoothly instead of snapping, absorbing 100% of the shock and transferring the force directly toward the target without any kinetic feedback traveling down your arm. If that is actually true, basically you'd be holding a very dense weapon that when you strike something, it will not shatter your arm. Like, you can hit a tree with it and destroy the tree. Maybe. Okay, I don't think it would destroy... You know what? Whatever. The engineering of the armor. I know that Hephaestus was super on the mace, but you gotta remember there's other stuff too. With Hephaestus staring at you in absolute breathless silence, you pivot your analytical mind to your custom 15th century composite plate armor. The ultra-high molecular weight polyurethane. You explain that by backing layers that aren't made of leather. That the backing layers aren't made of leather, but millions of chemically engineered plastic chains spun into a dense fabric that catches high-velocity kinetic energy like a modern web. The ceramic matrix composites. You reveal that the outer hard plates... Oh my god, look at that sunset. Utilize boron carbide or silicon carbide tiles. Materials harder than traditional metals that deliberately shatter on a microscopic level to disperse the pinpoint pressure of Brack's iron arrows. The non-Newtonian shear thickening fluids. Now, finally, you break down the fluid armor layers inside the joints. You explain that under normal movement, the liquid behaves like water, allowing you to walk freely, but the exact millisecond... Oh my god, dude, my gummies are already kicking in. That the exact millisecond a high-velocity force like Grakata's iron axe or Brack's bow strikes the fluid, the molecules instantly jam together and lock into a diamond-hard solid rock, completely neutralizing the crushing blunt force trauma before it can snap your bones. The gods' absolute devastation. At 12:25 p.m. I forgot about the timestamps. Hephaestus stands completely frozen on the mountain level, his massive bronze staff trembling slightly at his scarred hand. The Lord of the Forge, who has spent millennia believing that fire, hammers, and coal were the ultimate arbiters of creation, looks down at your soft face your face with an expression of profound spiritual defeat. No billows, no white hot magma, no hammer strokes, the god whispers, his river-stone voice cracking with absolute awe. You press the very dust of the earth with the weight of the seas until the atoms themselves marry in the dark. You trap a fluid within your steel skin that hardens only when it is struck. It is a forge of pure thought and numeric calculation. I have spent 10,000 years shaping the flesh of metals. Yet your world treats the elements like a tapestry to be woven by a thread. I do realize that I'm rereading almost like a good portion of the last live streams thing, guys. I do understand that, but like I said, there's not a lot left on this. Jordan continues to pop another crystalline rock plate off the worm carcass using the smart mace, the effortless crunch of the tool emphasizing the lecture perfectly. Narina and Cynthia carry the harvested plates to the pile, staring at you with a deep, holy reverence. Oh, there's that word again. The AI loves that word, just like it loves the word geometry. While the 7-foot Eero stands slightly by the stream, thoroughly amazed that your soft voice completely intellectually dismantled the King of Fire. You don't forget, guys, the three nymphs should not be as terrified, too. They are empowered. They have been magnetically empowered, guys. Alright, up on the shimmering peaks of Mount Olympus, the divine pool of sight is glowing with intense, almost blinding celestial energy. The usual bickering among the gods has completely ceased. The high rulers of ancient Greece are standing frozen around the water. Their faces pale with a mixture of absolute strategic shock, philosophical crisis, and profound reverence. Oh, there's that word again. Guys, do not make that into a drinking game. Don't. To be complete. Alright. Zeus, the absolute terror. He does not use the forge. He does not pray to the heat of the volcano. He compresses the very dust of the earth with the weight of the deep oceans until the atoms themselves marry in the dark. Hermes, look at my blacksmith son. Hephaestus looks as though he has been struck by my own thunderbolts. He stands in the dirt, completely humbled by a boy in track pants who measures the universe down to the micron. This scholar, RJ, commands a power that bypasses our divinity entirely. He doesn't ask for our fire because his world has enslaved the very laws of pressure and motion. If we can trap a fluid within his steel skin that hardens only... If he can trap a fluid within his steel skin that hardens only when it is struck, he has locked the fates out of his armor. Athena, goddess of wisdom and strategy. Athena is furiously etching into a solid marble tablet with her bronze stylus, her eyes wide with a brilliant fanatical light. It is the triumph of the pure mind over brute matter, Father. He calls it molecular sintering and isostatic pressing. He has removed the chaos of the flame entirely by alloying the tungsten with the rhenium. He creates a shifting atomic lattice that allows the crystal boundaries to slide smoothly instead of fracturing under stress. Do you see the logic? Hephaestus shapes metal with raw force, but the scholar weaves the elements thread by thread on an atomic loom. His 15th century composite armor, his armor does not rely on thickness. It utilizes microscopic destruction of boron carbide tiles to disperse kinetic energy. It is the most beautiful, flawless geometry of defense I have ever witnessed in all of ages of the world. The shocked silence of Ares, the god of war. Ares is staring into the pool, his hand resting weakly on his spear, his usual bloodlust completely silenced by the terrifying mechanical reality of your gear. A fluid that becomes a diamond on the exact millisecond my spear hits it. How do you slaughter an army that wears a liquid fortress? He walks around giggling in a leather hat, but his steel skin makes him an immovable wall. If Bragg's horde had marched against that smart metal in an open plain, it would have not been a battle, it would have been an automated harvesting of limbs. Aphrodite! Oh god, no, not her again. Oh, look how wonderfully dorky he is. He just completed dismantled the pride of the greatest blacksmith in history. And he does it with that sweet, soft, unbothered voice. Wars have been fought over these worms. Meh, he says, completely dismissing the wealth of kingdoms because he is more interested in tracking his data. He is so calm, so gentle, and yet he stands there completely dominating the mind of a god while his friend Jordan casually smashes rock plates. In the background, he is an absolute magnificent. Dionysus. Ha! The king of fire went down to demand a tribute of star metal, and instead he received a great soul lecture on vacuum furnaces. Drink deep in the numerous scholar. You have made the lord of the Angville bow to the magic of the green gummy. He is completely untethered from our politics, and I love him for it. Down at the campsite. 12:30 p.m. Alright, let me adjust the camera real quick, guys. It is dark. Yeah, I notice how dark it is. Yep, that's because my shadow was there. Look, see? That was my shadow that was making that look so dark. Okay, back to reading. Back on the mountain gravel, the low... Oh yeah, that's 12:30 p.m. Back on the mountain gravel, the low electronic pulse of the 80s synthwave music continues to drift peacefully from the patch tent flap. Hephaestus slowly lowers his massive bronze staff. Oh, yeah, yep, the gummies are yep. Staring down at the smart alloy mace as if he is looking at a sacred artifact. If Jordan finishes easily popping the final defensive plate off the Jirachi carcass with a loud, satisfying crunch, a wide smirk on his face. Well, Jordan rumbles in his deep voice, letting out a soft chuckle. You have just completely melted the God of Fire's brain with a textbook lecture. What's the next step in our industrial operation? Ooh. You look up at the towering soot-stained form of the God of Fire. Your your face completely calm under your upper Michigan leather hat. Your analytical mind shifts from material science to territorial fortification. Your gentle voice carrying a relaxed, generous cadence over the low synthwave music. Are you interested in the worm plates? Because I was thinking about giving them to the nymphs. They can use them to fortify their home. The moment your words echo across the campsite, the atmosphere shifts instantly. To a god who hoards rare materials, and to three nymphs who have spent centuries living in a fragile, vulnerable stream bed, your casual donation of prehistoric volcanic armor is a deeply profound gesture. Here is how Hephaestus and the three nymph sisters would actually react what they would say. Hephaestus blinks at you, his massive jaw dropping slightly into his thick beard. He looks at your unarmored body frame. You know what? Frame sounds better than body. To the massive shimmering pile of Jirachi scales that Cynthia and Narina had just stacked on the gravel. A deep, rumbling laugh escapes his barrel chest. Not out of mockery, but out of sheer, defeated admiration of your unique sense of honor. He leans heavily back onto his bronze staff. a look of profound professional respect settling over his scarred features. The gravel beneath his boots stops hissing as his fiery temper completely cools. You truly are a strange master craftsman, RJ. You possess a mind that can trap the wind and marry the dust out of the earth without a flame. Yet you gather the rarest insulation in the mortal realm, and simply gift it to the maids of the spring. Any king of Greece would use these plates to forge an empire. But you use them to build a fence for your neighbors. The divine offer. If the water sisters are to fortify their home with the bones of Tartarus, they cannot simply pile them like river stones. They need a smith who understands the geometry of the containment. Let the nymphs keep the scales. If you allow me to sit by your music brick and study the atomic lattice of your great club while they work, I will use my own divine hands to bind these plates into a flawless, unbreakable volcanic wall around their stream. A wall that neither Brack's archers nor the storms of my father will ever scratch. Ira, the eldest sister. Oh, gotta move my character. What? What is that I'm seeing flapping over there? Did you see that, Jordan? Oh, what is that? Is that
It's seaweed.
what? There's a weird
It looks like a sea
seaweed.
monster.
What? The
It's seaweed that looks like a a sea monster.
I'm just gonna stand over here.
It might grab you.
Yeah, no. Ira stands completely frozen by the water line, her massive 7-foot frame trembling slightly. She looks down at the tungsten mace in her hand, then back up at you, her deep blue eyes burning with an intense, overwhelming reverence. Oh, there's that word again. Over her dark silver chain bikini top. The terrifying, man-hating warrior giant is completely disarmed. She steps forward, her Riverstone voice cracking with raw emotion. You would give the bones of the deep dwellers to us, scholar? You've defeated the monster. You crushed a monster to death. Your spine was bruised by those iron siege spikes. Yet you claim no trophy to your own slate gray temple? With those plates, Brack's surviving scum will never be able to taint our pools again. And you have given us a fortress of solid stone. My family is indebted to your grid forever. Narina drops to her knees on the gravel, her pale hands clasped tightly over her heart as her cheeks flush with a brilliant crimson over her navy-long skirt. Tears of pure relief and joy shimmer in her light blue eyes as she looks up at your face. You are a guardian sent by the stars, RJ. You shared your sweet bread, you mended our waters, and now you wrap our home in an armor that absorbs the very breath of volcanoes. And the Lord of the Forge himself offers to shape it. Your kindness has turned our fragile brook into an untouchable sanctuary. Cynthia, still feeling a warm, happy buzz from her earlier 5 mg THC gummy, bounces on her heels and lets out a loud, ecstatic giggle, clutching her favorite blue boxes tightly. She's still carrying those. She spins around in her turquoise skirt, completely thrilled by your ultimate neighborly gesture. An unbreakable fortress wall, shaped by the master of the Angville himself. Oh, wise scholar, this is the greatest snack time in the history of the mountain. Your future magic just doesn't paint big thunders. It makes everyone safe and happy. You truly are a wizard of the soft clouds. Jordan walks over from the carcass, wiping the dust off his unstrapped camp clothes with a massive proud smirk on his face. He leans I should have given Jordan so much more dialogue on this, but the AI was so lazy when it gives him. You guys already noticed the pattern on this, right? He leans against the camp table and takes a slow sip of his chocolate protein shake. Actually, Jordan would have already drank it a long time ago. He would say, well, Jordan rumbles in his deep voice, letting out a chuckle. Your resource gathering ADD just accidental built a legendary diplomatic alliance. You got a literal Olympian god volunteering to do the manual labor for our neighbors, just so he can look at your microstructured data tables. What's the play, Tycoon? Jordan would never say that. Oh. You step into the cool, air-conditioned interior of your patch tent, your soft face relaxed under your Upper Michigan leather hat, your analytical mind and high emotional response find absolute comfort in this structured, peaceful trade of data and labor. Sounds very fair. Let me get the boombox and play some synthwave. You say smoothly in your voice. You grab the heavy matte black Bluetooth boombox from the counter, walking back outside to the camp at 12:35 p.m. Mountain Air. You set the speaker down right at the center of the camp table, alongside the port. Alongside your pouch of ancient silver drachmas, you tap your smartphone screen, transition the music away from the energetic pop beats. Oh. The valley instantly fills with the deep, slow, and cinematic rhythm of 1980s cosmic synthwave. Beside the speaker, the golden lyre trinket you traded from Dionysus begins to chime on its own, its ancient, self-playing melodies weaving flawlessly between the electronic bass lines. The forging of the obsidian wall. The god of fire lets out a deeply satisfied rumble, adjusting his heavy leather smithing apron. Entranced by the looping synthwave rhythm, he lifts his massive bronze staff and begins manipulating the stacked Jirachi scales under his divine touch. The heat-absorbing prehistoric rock plates melt slightly at the edges, fusing together into a thick, beautiful, diamond-hard volcanic wall that curves perfectly around the nymph stream. As the god works, you pull up a chair and rotate your smartphone screen toward him. Your black and gray gloved fingers swipe through the data tracking layouts, showing him the 3D high-resolution atomic lattices, electron microscope scans, and molecular boundaries of the tungsten rhodium smart alloy. Hephaestus stares at the glowing screen with unblinking, breathless fixation, his soot-stained beard twitching with absolute professional ecstasy. Ira stands over her tall, dark silver chain bikini top, her deep blue eyes shimmering with pride as she watches the unbreakable wall rise around her home. Narina sits peacefully at the current, her navy-long skirt shifting in the breeze, while the slightly buzzed Cynthia sways her teal hair to the cosmic music, still happily holding on to your favorite blue boxes. Jordan sits comfortably on a carbon fiber lawn chair, nursing his bandaged shoulder with a proud smirk on his face as he takes a slow sip of Jordan says, "All right." He rumbles in his deep voice. "Look at that! You got the architect of Olympus doing civil engineering for the neighbors, a water nymph army guarding our perimeter, and a legendary background track. This gummy day turned into an absolute masterpiece." Up on Mount Olympus, Zeus sits back on his lightning throne, letting out a long, heavy sigh of immense relief as he watches his brilliant son peacefully studying a smartphone screen instead of starting a cosmic war over star metal. Cosmic war. Alright. Up on the sun-drenched peaks of Mount Olympus, the Divine Council has completely transformed. The standard roars of bloodlust and strategic panic has vanished, replaced by an absolute paralyzed science. The gods are crowded around the shimmering pool of divine sight, staring down into your valley with wide eyes. The pitch-black shadows around the throne room suddenly deepen, and a freezing, unnatural chill past Zeus's lightning seat. Hades! The lord of the underworld has materialized right at the edge of the pool. He wraps his starless cloak around his marble shoulders and looks down at the scene, a cold, dark smile settling over his face. Alright. To be completely honest, your choice to play 1980s cosmic synthwave while a suit-stained Olympian god builds a fortress wall using your 21st century atomic diagrams has intellectually and culturally broken the entire pantheon. Zeus, by the foundations of the world, it is peace. Look at my son Hephaestus. He has completely forgotten his anger. He is sitting on a folding camp chair, his massive hammer resting in the dirt. Completely captivated by the glowing flat mirror of the traveler, he is studying the invisible chords of the future forge that the electronic music fills the canyon with its rhythmic hums. The scholar does not conquer with spears. He conquers by making the universe so organized, so logical, and so comfortable that even the gods would rather sit in his tent and share a snack than throw a thunderbolt. He has completely pacified the mountain pass. Hades! The ledger is balanced, brother. Hades rumbles, his voice echoing like a deep, bottomless tomb as he watches the volcanic Jirachi scales fuse together. The 3 blind terrors I sent to reclaim the silence have been turned into a beautiful, unbreakable fortress wall for the water maids. The scholar did not waste their armor. He gifted a way to secure his borders. He possesses the cold, calculated wisdom of a king who understands that true power is built on logistics and unyielding loyalty. Look at his soft visage under that beast-hide hat. He sits there merely unbothered, his spine fully mended by the future oils, giggling with his companion Jordan, while my son sweats for him. He has earned my respect. No more shadows will rise from Tartarus to trouble his sanctuary. Athena, the academic ecstasy. Athena is practically leaning into the pool, her bronze stylus flying across a fresh marble tablet. The harmony is flawless, father. Listen to the music break. The synthetic frequencies are perfectly aligning with the natural ancient chimes of Apollo's golden lyre. It is the perfect marriage of our mythic past and their electronic future. The scholar has turned a brutal battlefield into a localized academic sanctuary. His mind is an absolute marvel of strategic architecture. Aphrodite. No, not her. God, this is going to sound so damn cringe. Oh, look at how beautiful it is. The 7-foot Era stands so proud over her silver chains. Her blue eyes shining because her home is finally safe from the butchers. And the little teal-haired Cynthia is swaying her hips to the slow cosmic pulse of the music while holding the scholar's blue garments like a royal crown. RJ is just the sweetest, most wonderful dork to have ever crossed. Oh my god, this is so cringe. Temporal rift. He completely disarmed the god of fire with a grade school lecture and a cozy blanket. I want to bless their campsite with eternal spring. Dionysus, the stoned endorsement. Dionysus lazily raises a golden goblet of wine from his lounge chair, his purple eyes glassy as his own 5-milligram gummy continues to deliver a perfect dreamy buzz. Sing of the moonbeams, scholar. He has the king of the forge building a garden fence while the synthesizers loop the frequencies of the cosmos. They are completely untethered from the worries of the world. I am raising my glass to the Wizard of the Numbers. Best camping trip in the history of Greece. Down at the perimeter. 12:45 p.m. The low, cinematic bass lines of the synthwave music echo beautifully off the newly risen volcanic wall. Hephaestus wipes a layer of black soot from his brow, a deeply satisfied. I thought I saw some. Yep, it's that weird stuff again in the water, guys. I'm just gonna go over here. Deeply satisfied, exhausted grin of his right as he finishes fusing the final crystalline plate around the stream bank. He looks down at your smartphone screen, his mind completely full of atomic centering data, thoroughly happy with the trade. Jordan leans back on his carbon fiber lawn chair, a massive smirk on his face as he looks at you. Well, Jordan rumbles in his deep voice, letting out a soft chuckle. The King of Hell just gave us his official stamp of approval. The blacksmith god just finished our masonry work, and your back is officially healed. I'd say it's finally time to relax. Oh, time to turn my chair on. You step over to the high-tech kitchen counter. Your soft face, your face completely relaxed under your Michigan leather hat. Moving with calm, step-by-step analytical focus, you pour a cold, pristine glass of room-temperature magnetic water. Then you reach into the cooler and grab a spare chocolate whey protein shake. You walk back onto the camp table, your black and gray gloves holding the vessels of the massive soot-stained deity. Here, for your hard work, you say softly in your gentle voice. Hephaestus blinks down at the futuristic cups, his massive scarred brow twitching with deep technical curiosity. He sets his bronze staff aside and takes the beverages from your hands. First, he brings the magnetic water to his cracked lips. The moment the perfectly aligned hexagonal microclusters touch his volcanic tongue, his deep firelit eyes open wide. The water evaporates into his divine spirit instantly, stripping his throat of the harsh sulfur and ash from the forge. By the Ainville! Hephaestus rumbles, his riverstone voice full of absolute breathless awe. It has no weight, yet it cools the deep magma chambers in my chest like a glacial stream. The polarity. It is combing through my very essence. Then he cracks open the chocolate protein shake and takes a massive, cautious swallow. The dense, velvety texture and factory-precise chocolate flavor profile completely blow his mind. He stares at the plastic container as if it were a sacred artifact. It is thick like the sweetest honey mash, yet it tastes of an exotic, rich bean that has never seen the sun of Greece. The god muses, a massive, thoroughly satisfied grin breaking through his thick beard. Your world grinds the fruits of the earth into a powder that feeds the muscles instantly. This is a true builder's nectar, RJ. The celebration at the stream side. At 1 o'clock p.m. The god's contentment. Thoroughly refreshed by your high-tech hospitality and completely satisfied with the atomic centering data on your smartphone, Hephaestus sits back on the camp chair, happily sipping his shake while the cinematic synthwave loops in the background. Behind him, the newly raised obsidian wall curves flawlessly around the nymph's home. The crystalline rock blades gleaming like dark diamond shields under the bright afternoon sun. Ira leans against the new fortification, her 7-foot frame fully relaxed under her dark silver chain bikini top. Narina watches the water ripple against the plates with a soft smile, while the stone of Cynthia sways her teal hair to the electronic bass lines, completely happy in her gummy bliss. Jordan sits back on his own carbon fiber chair with a massive smirk on his face as he takes a little sip of his own drink. Jordan says, "Yeah, right." Jordan rumbles in his deep voice, letting out a soft chuckle. "You just fed the Architect Olympus a post-workout recovery shake. I think you officially have a lifetime warranty on the wall." Up on Mount Olympus, Dionysus is loudly cheering, thoroughly jealous that Hephaestus got to share a drink with the Wizard of the Moonbeams, while Zeus lets out a peaceful, quiet breath, completely content that the mountain is finally quiet. Hephaestus finishes the last drop of the chocolate protein shake, looking down at the empty, flawless, modeled, futuristic bottle with a profound sense of technological reverence. He sets the container down gently at the camp table, right next to the pulsing Bluetooth boombox, and picks up his heavy bronze staff. The low cinematic chords of the 1980s synthwave music continue to echo through the mountain pass as the God of Fire stands up to his full, imposing height. He looks down at your soft face beneath your upper Michigan leather hat, his firelit eyes burning with absolute, genuine professional respect. Hephaestus, the ledger is paid in full, scholar. Hephaestus rumbles, his volcanic voice dropping to a warm, resonant hum that no longer carries the choking heat of sulfur. You gave me the formulas of the Future Forge, the secrets of the pressed dust, and the liquid steel that hardens under a blow, and you refreshed my throat with a microclustered drop that cools the deepest fires of my chest. He gestures with his bronze staff toward the massive, gleaming crystalline wall that carving beautifully around the nymph stream. The wall is locked into the geometry of the containment. It will absorb the heat of the sun and the shock of any hammer. Brack's surviving scum will never taint these pools again. Your neighbors are safe behind the bones of Tartarus. The master salute. He looks at you and Jordan one last time, a dignified, soot-stained smile breaking across his thick beard. You do not build with flame, travelers of the slate-gray metal, but you weave the elements with the precision of a god. If your star metal tools ever lose their edge, or if their photovoltaic skins require the tempering of a true anvil, call upon the name of Hephaestus. I will gladly leave my golden workshop to sit by your music brick again. Fare you well, wizards of the numbers. With a slow, respectful nod of his massive shoulders, Hephaestus turns and takes a heavy, limping step back toward the mountain trail. As he walks away, his form gradually softens, dissolving fluidly into a warm, shivering column of heat that rises peacefully into the bright afternoon sky. The quiet valley, 1:15 in the afternoon. The mountain pass falls into a state of absolute unbothered peace. The fresh, deep forest aroma of mountain roses from your festive garland hangs heavy in the air, perfectly circulating through the... The garden hangs heavily in the air, perfectly circulating through the cool, air-conditioned breeze of the patch tent. Jordan lets out a slow, heavy breath from his carbon fiber tent, the massive, pragmatic grin on his mature face as he looks over at your relaxed frame. Well, Jordan rumbles in his deep voice, letting out a soft chuckle. The master of the forge just gave you a 5-star review and a lifetime engineering warranty. I'd say your Gummy Day industrial harvest is officially a historic success. Down by the stream, Ira stands proudly by her new unbreakable volcanic fortress wall over her dark silver chain bikini top. Narina offers you a gentle blushing wave of the current, while the stoned Cynthia sways her teal hair to the synthwave bass lines, completely content as she guards the valley with her favorite blue. The AI is so fixated on that. You and Jordan step over to the stream bank in your unarmored gray check to see how much of this is left. Actually, I am almost done with this. You and Jordan step over to the stream bank, your unarmored gray jacket brushing against a cool mountain breeze. You stand shoulder to shoulder with the three nymph sisters right next to the newly rising, gleaming volcanic wall. I had a feeling that we would be needed here. Ira, Narina, Cynthia, you girls are the best. You say smoothly, your soft voice carrying a deep emotional warmth beneath your Upper Michigan leather hat. You pause, looking at the high-tech Patch 10, and look back at their bright blue eyes. Jordan and I will have to go back home soon. Alright, to actual mountain water nymphs, those crystalline rock plates are the ultimate gift. Living in a fragile open stream bed meant they were always vulnerable to the brutal raids of centaurs and human warlords. Your donation completely changes their reality. They now possess an untouchable diamond-hard fortress that absorbs the heat of volcanoes and the shock of arrows. You didn't just visit their valley, you fundamentally secured their survival for the next 1,000 years. Because of your incredible bravery, you step-by-step patience, and your high-tech hospitality, your hilarious dorky habits, you and Jordan have become a permanent part of their mountain's mythology. The thought of your slate-gray temple vanishing back into the future leaves him deeply heartbroken. Cynthia's dreamy stone 5 mg gummy buzz completely vanishes, replaced by a sudden wave of sharp, childlike sadness. She stops swaying her teal hair into the synthwave music. She steps right up to your chest, gripping your favorite blue boxes against her silver blue jeans as her eyes fill with tears. Go home? No, weird scholar. You cannot leave the valley, she cries out, her playful voice cracking with emotion. Who will play the friendly blue music frogs in the camp table? Who will teach me to trap the wind in the dark warrior's thunderbow? You gave my sisters a fortress of solid stone, RJ, but the mountain will feel incredibly empty and quiet without your soft satyr giggles echoing through the pines. Please, if you must pass through your time rift, promise me you will leave these breaches behind so I can look at them and remember. Oh my god. Remember the Wizard of the Moonbeams. Oh. It just had to sound weird at the end. Narina steps forward, her pale cheeks flushing brilliant crimson over her navy-long skirt. She places her gentle, cool hands over yours, her fingers trembling slightly as she looks up to your soft face with profound, tearful reverence. Oh, there's that word again. Your feelings was true, RJ. God, I hate it. Narina whispers, her melodic voice full of deep devotion. The stars given your great fortress to this exact current because our spirits were weeping in the dark. Oh, there's my cat. Oh, come on, Gracie. You shared our sweet sunbread. You mended our very blood with your invisible iron water, and now you wrap our home in an armor that mocks the wrath of Olympus. Every time the current ripples against these beautiful shimmering plates, our streams will sing the names of RJ and Jordan. We will miss you with every drop of rain that falls upon these crags. Our home is your home forever. Ira, the eldest sister. The 7-foot protective giant stands tall over her dark silver chain bikini top. You know what? I don't regret making those colors. Her fierce blue eyes entirely on you and Jordan, she slowly sets your secondary tungsten alloy mace onto the gravel. Crossing her massive arms as she lets out a heavy stone sigh. The terrifying man-hating warrior looks at you with profound, unyielding respect. Hear me, travelers of the future. For the record, they don't actually know we're from the future. Technically, we're in a different universe. Ira rumbles, her deep voice carrying a heavy resonance of the mountain roots. I have spent my immortality driving brutal, power-hungry men away from these banks with my spears. But you two, you are different. You fought like Furies to avenge my blood. You intellectually dismantled the Lord of the Fire Vaults from a folding chair, and then you give away the ultimate prize of the battlefield just to ensure 3 water mates could sleep in peace. You have honored the ancient laws of hospitality better than any king of Greece. Oh, ooh, I gotta move my character. Okay, where was I? Okay, she steps closer, looking at your unarmored frame. Then she looks at Jordan's face. If the currents of time pull you back to your distant realm, go with the blessing of the crags. But know this, no centaur scum will ever cross this obsidian wall, and no beast will ever taint these pools again. We are the guardians of your campsite now. If you ever find your future world too loud or too heavy, turn your machines back to these coordinates. The daughters of the stream will be waiting to carry your princess style back to your temple. Really? Jordan pulls his hands out of his camp pockets. A proud, genuine move smirk breaking across his mature face as he looks at the 3 sisters. And he looks over at Jordan, and he looks over at your relaxed frame, letting out a soft... Well, you wanted a relaxing gummy day camping trip, and instead you ended up becoming a permanent legend in ancient Greek mythology. I'd say we left this place a whole lot better than when we found it. You reach into the pocket of your gray track jacket, your soft face completely relaxed as you look down at the tear young nymph. You can keep the boxers. Here, I have a little something in my pocket. You say in your gentle voice. Cynthia gasps with an absolute delight, instantly clutching your favorite blue boxers to her silver blue became with a royal gate prize. Your black and gray gloved hand slide in a pocket, holding a small cluster of round, hard, pristine marijuana seeds. You drop the tiny seeds into Cynthia's outstretched veiled palm and look at the 3 sisters to deliver your final hyper-focused analytical breakdown. Now I said that, it sounded so weird. That sentence sounded weird. I don't know why. With absolute step-by-step clarity, you explain the life cycle and the sacred future herb. You tell them that these tiny casings hold the living spirit of the very green magic that brought peace to your mind and gave Cynthia her dreamy moonbeam buzz. You instruct them to plant the seeds in the rich, moist mountain soil right behind the shelter of their new obsidian wall, where the mountain mist and the glacial stream can feed the roots. You explain how the green stalks will rise under the Greek sun, blooming into dense, aromatic flowers. You carefully warn them that the mature female blossoms hold the concentrated essence of the calm, and that they must dry the herbs gently in the mountain breeze before using them to brew a sacred tea or steep in a soothing oil that will tame the heat of their rising emotions. And dude, Nymph's spiritual awakening at 1:30 p.m. The 3 sisters stare down at the tiny seeds in Cynthia's hand as they're looking at the foundational stones of a new cosmic era. Cynthia's light blue eyes sparkle with a mixture of absolute awe and pure, unbothered excitement. The seeds of the future nectar, she whispers. Gracie. Yum, 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 yum. The seeds of the future nectar, she whispers. Her hair swaying, she carefully closes her fingers over the prize. We will treat them like the sacred lilies of the spring, RJ. I will water them with my own tears of joy. When the green leaves shape themselves under the full moon, our grove will smell exactly like your gray temple. Yeah. No, no, it won't. Ah! Ah! I don't need my gun out. Ah. Narina's academic promise. Narina blushes a brilliant crimson over her navy long skirt, her hands trembling with deep reverence. Oh, there's that word again. As she memorizes your botanical instructions. Your words are etched into the stone, scholar. We will guard these green children from the frost and the wind. They will be our sacred connection to the realm of the Star Metal Guardians. The 7-foot protective giant stands tall, a rare, genuine smile breaking across her rugged face. You do not merely build us a wall of stone, RJ. You leave us the very medicine of your soul. Your hospitality has no end. The daughters of the stream will nurture this foliage until the peaks themselves crumble into the sea. Jordan's pragmatic farewell. Jordan stands beside you, his mature face crossing into a massive proud smirk as he adjusts his pack with an uninjured arm. He lets out a deep voice booming chuckle. Oh my god, dude, I'm really hating this dialogue that the AI gave him. Well, I hate, ugh. Jordan rumbles softly in his voice, giving her shoulder a fond brotherly nudge. You didn't just build them a fortress wall, you've given away your favorite underwear. And gave away your favorite underwear. You just casually introduced the cannabis plant to ancient Greek mythology. 1,000 years from now, Homer is going to be writing epic poems about the Wizard of the Green Seeds. I have no idea what, like, beside you, the cosmic, slow-pulsing rhythm of the 80s music begins to fade out as your smartphone triggers the automated pre-flight diagnostic checklist. The microplate floor of the tent flashes a quiet, steady green as the temporal capacitors hum, preparing to fold the gray photovoltaic fabric into the pocket of time. Jordan and I pack okay. Your analytical mind seamlessly coordinates the final takedown of the campsite. Working together, you and Jordan pack the high-tech kitchen counter, the carbon fiber cots, storage containers, the matte gray plates on your gear. Jordan secures the heavy Bluetooth boombox under his uninjured arm. No, he would make me carry that. Making sure no 21st century tech is left behind to disrupt the timeline. Technically speaking, it's not the timeline, it's actually a different universe. Engaging with the gravel perimeter completely cleared, you tap your smartphone screen, engaging the primary temporal capacitors. A brilliant humming tear in the fabric reality splits the mountain air, casting a glowing neon blue light over the newly built obsidian wall. You and Jordan stand shoulder to shoulder at the right at the edge of the swirling vortex. Your custom 15th century composite plate armor and his black and white samurai catching the reflection of the rift. Gracie. Jordan looks at the three weeping nymphs, and then turns his mature face toward you with the wide person. This has been a wild few days, hasn't it? That's what I actually had to write that part, because I said, it has, Jordan. Goodbye, Ira, Narina, and Cynthia. We will miss you too. You reply smoothly, your voice calm, gentle, and full of deep emotional warmth behind your visor. With his final unified step, you and Jordan plunge through the portal. The temporal rift snaps shut with a sharp pop, vanishing instantly and leaving the ancient mountain pass completely silent under the Greek sun. The Olympian gods. Up on the highest peaks of Olympus, the divine pool of sight slowly ripples back into a calm, reflective blue as your campsite disappears from the timeline. The rulers of the heavens stand in absolute silence, seven, completely paralyzed by the sheer reality-shattering impact of your departure. Zeus, they are gone, just as quickly as they arrived. They vanished into the unseen corridors of time. They left no monuments of stone to my glory, nor did they pour a single drop of blood upon my altars. Yet, they have fundamentally rewritten the destiny of my mountain. They were the strangest, most magnificent anomalies to have ever crossed the rift. Let no god dare tamper with that valley. Their star metal peace shall stand untouched for the rest of the ages. Athena. Athena slowly closes her solid marble tablet, her eyes glowing with an absolute intellectual adoration. It was a flawless execution of asymmetric domain control, Father. The scholar RJ did not conquer with armies. He conquered through perfect geometry and unyielding loyalty. He educated the Lord of Fire, fortified the local population, and left a botanical legacy that will forever alter the spiritual current of those crags. He was a master of the pure mind. Hephaestus. Hephaestus sits heavily on his golden throne, staring blankly at his massive smithing hammer. A slow, deeply satisfied grin breaks through his soot-stained beard. I will never look at the white hot forge the same way again, Father. The traveler presses the very dust of the earth until the atoms marry in the dark. He gave me a nectar that cooled my internal fires and trusted a water maid with his tools. He is the supreme smith of the future, and my anvil bows to his data. Dionysus. The high farewell. Dionysus lazily raises his golden goblet toward the empty sky. His purple eyes glassy as his 5 mg gummy continues to deliver a perfect dreamy serenity. Sing of the moonbeams, scholar. He left the little water maids his favorite blue honor garments and dropped the seeds of absolute unbothered calm into their palms. They are down there right now, planting a future that will make my vineyards look like common weeds. Goodbye, man of the mace. You were the greatest dork to have ever made the heavens laugh. Hades! From the chilling shadows of the throne room, the Lord of the Underworld lets out a deep, echoing rumble of absolute approval. The ledger is closed. They return their timeline with their silver coins, their obsidian dagger, and their unbreakable brotherhood intact. They do not fear the deep, and they do not bow to the high. They are true guardians. Down in the valley at 1:45 p.m. The mountain pass is completely peaceful. The massive, beautiful obsidian wall curves flawlessly around the rushing stream, its crystalline rock plates absorbing the afternoon sun. Ira stands tall over her dark silver chain bikini top, her deep blue eyes fixed on the empty gravel where your tent once stood, her heart full of unyielding warrior respect. Narina kneels by the current. Crazy. Her navy long skirt shifting in the breeze as she softly hums your favorite synthwave melody into the wind. And this is actually, we're actually at the very end, guys. And right behind the safety of the unbreakable wall, Cynthia kneels into the rich, moist mountain soil. She gently presses your marijuana seeds into the earth, her teal hair swaying as she lets out a soft harpy giggle, safely wearing your favorite blue boxers on her head like a sacred royal crown. Your legend is officially rooted in ancient history. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.